Hello, everyone. Welcome to the session Tech via Social Impact at Polish Tech Day 2021. Sorry for that. And why this session? We live in the age of impact, and as business owners, as startuppers, as tech-savvy individuals, we have this very unique opportunity of actually contributing to different social causes through our skills and our technologies through innovation. So at this session, we'll look at different ways in which startups and companies can contribute to social causes. And to do this, we organized a very practical session. We really hope that you will get some lessons learned and tips from this meeting with us. And we'll look at different types of companies at different development stages. So we'll have a for-profit company and 2 social startups. And what we hope to achieve by the end of the session is to inspire you to take these tips and these best practices and maybe start a social project at your company, or maybe create a new social enterprise yourself. So before I introduce myself and my dear speakers who are already here with me, except from Szymon. So Szymon, we are waiting for you. Please join. I really want to welcome you, participants. We can already see people joining our session. And before we start our conversation, I would really want to encourage you to leave us a message in the chat. So please write who are you and what brings you here and why this topic is important to you. So why social impact is important to you. Please leave us a message and also ask your questions. And to this being said, let's begin. Szymon, very important message. You have to turn on the other camera because now we can only see your table. Exactly.
Yeah, and I know. So sorry for that, but I don't have my front camera available anymore. But I can hear you and I can see you. So unfortunately, I don't have the front camera available for this software.
Okay, that's a surprise because we've tested it, but yeah, okay, it's okay. So let's begin and let's start with the introductions and let's see if our technical team can have a solution for that. So my name is Kasia Lechka. I'm Paris chapter head at Plugin. Impact is very important for me in my career and my professional projects. I worked at the World Bank and also I worked in several projects and startups related to social impact. And here are my amazing guests that will introduce themselves. So we have Karol Górnowicz, who is CEO at Skriware. We have Igor Marczak, who is founder at SeniorApp, and we have Szymon Szczepanowski, who is VC Global Business Development and Vintom. So to begin, please guys, introduce yourself. But a little bit about yourself and your company. Karol?
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Kasia, for inviting me here and for making this possible. I really look forward to a productive session. And so my name is Karol. I'm CEO of Skriware. Skriware is a edtech business. We're Warsaw-based, but we definitely aim at the global level. Our product, our solution is a school laboratory, K-12 school lab, that helps teachers to improve their ICT skills and methodological skills at the same time, while delivering amazing lessons, project-based, hands-on, very practical lessons to children to really inspire them. The product that we offer is a combination of 3D printing software, robotics, e-learning, and programming, all put all together so that children can, for instance, design, print, build, and program 3D printable robots. Yeah, and as I said, thank you.
Thank you very much. So Igor, tell us a little bit more about yourself and the company.
Okay. Hello, everybody. My name is Igor Marczak. I'm a member of SeniorApp. I'm a co-founder as well. I have a graduate of historical and sociological department of University of Łódź, but in my company now I am engaged in social media and creation side of marketing projects. Privately, I'm grandfather of 6 months, Franciszek, and I'm a musician also. You can ask what the SeniorApp exactly is. We are not ordinary marketplace. SeniorApp is a mobile phone app for senior citizens and their families, helping them find support with everyday issues and care quickly.
Thank you very much. Szymon, we cannot see you at the moment, but we can hear you, I guess. So before we solve this camera issue, may you tell us a little bit about yourself and the company?
Yeah, sure. I hope I'm heard. So my name is Szymon. I lead a global growth for Vintom. We at Vintom are focused on the technology that allows a massive personalization of the video messages. And we use that technology for engaging in a B2C, as well as social events, as the one that we'll be probably talking about today. But basically, what we are providing is a new, quite innovative and very, very efficient way of communicating between people. And we want to make this video communication as close as possible to the human-to-human interaction.
That's great. Thank you very much for the introductions. So let's dive in. My first question is a little bit about your backgrounds. And this question is specifically to Karol and Igor, because I know that your startups have very interesting stories behind them. So maybe, Karol, if you could start and tell us a little bit more about how did this actually begin, this story with Skriware. And I know that there is a little bit of research involved. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about this phase.
Yes, so before I embarked on this entrepreneurial journey, I used to be a management consultant. I was working for PCG, and I had a great time, but I decided that I want to try my chances in a different environment. And I've always been very passionate about education, namely, my mom is an educator, she's a teacher, my grandma, my aunt, and all of that. And I've been active as a student in conducting different research papers reform, including my master's thesis. So I received an offer from a investor, from group of investors, to take over Skriware, which was a 3D printing business. So when I joined the company, there were a couple of people working in the heart of Warsaw, making 3D printers for children. So the initial idea was to sell 3D printer, like the easiest to use 3D printer on the market, and to sell it directly to parents of children to inspire them. And well, my job was to conduct some sort of structured pivot to make sure, to find the right business model, which took us, I have to say, 4 years to probably nail it. We're still working on it, but we're getting there. And we changed the product portfolio, and in order to do that, we had to apply for R&D grants. And this is the funds that we received. We received a grant from National Center for Research and Development, and with that grants, we were also able to secure follow-on fundraising rounds to stay afloat and to really develop the whole business. And R&D. So I was not involved in project management, but I was following it and making sure the milestones under supporting reports. It's not that exciting as it sounds. It's basically really project management work. You have to do weekly statuses, reports. You need to go through audit. You need to prove your numbers. So there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of detail. But overall, it helped us file a application for patents. So we're waiting for that. And we've completed the whole product portfolio. And yes, and I think the most interesting result of this R&D is that we created this sort of engineering culture within the company. And now when I recruit new people, I tell them explicitly that we have this specific engineering culture. It's not sales, it's not marketing. We are very to the detail. We have specific mindset that we want you to follow. And this is probably one of the most unexpected results out of this R&D experiences.
Okay, this is very interesting because I did not know about this part. So congratulations, this is quite a development of a company. Comparing what you do now and what you will talk about during this session, and like the beginning of the company that was so much narrower to what you have right now. So maybe a follow-up question to Szymon. I really hope I will not surprise you with this one, because you also have like a very innovative technology that you're offering to your clients, that you also have the space of R&D. Do you have like your experience will compare to Karol's in terms of developing like this a company culture around this?
Yeah, so I would say that the progress and the growth of the technology is in our space, in the technology startups, a core of our day-to-day business in at least some part of the organization. So to answer your question, yes, we see the same, and then people are engaged in a way. All the team members are in a way. In looking into the ways how to improve not only how we develop the technology, but also how this technology actually addresses customer concerns or questions or business needs. So I will give you a very specific example, and this one is quite closely related to one of the famous campaign we do with Wielka Orkiestra Świątecznej Pomocy, which is a real-time rendering of the video. In that particular case, we had a request from the customer, which is the foundation, to render the thank you message after the donation, and it needed to be delivered in close to the real time. So we had to change quite a bit of the technology in order to meet these requirements. Yeah, but certainly the culture is there, and this is like we are living in the constantly changing environment. So the day yesterday and the day tomorrow will be completely different in terms of how the people from organizations are looking at us, at our offering, and also as in the competitive space. We need to invest money and efforts in order to be and stay competitive.
So maybe just to give like a little bit broader context to our viewers, maybe you could tell us a little bit the context of the company at the moment, because it's actually not it's not on an everyday basis really related to social projects at all.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, one of the key for the right customers for us is a number of consumers the organization already have. And these are the consumers that the organization, the enterprises are currently communicating with. So to give you an example, if we have a telco company or the financial institutions and they have more than 1 million users or clients, this is the right customers for us. And this is our core business as for now. Since our business model is based on the volumes of the video we provide.
Okay, we'll get back to this, but before we go a little bit deeper in like whole organization of the business models of your companies, I want to ask Igor about the background of his company, because guys, it's really fascinating. So the company is quite young, and it was the idea and the work started last year. And you would think that because of the topic that they're covering, the technology that they're providing, you would think that actually SeniorApp is related to the pandemic, and actually it is not. So Igor, maybe you could tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes, it's interesting because everyone thinking about our company, yes, you are grow because pandemic is now. No, it's not true. For some companies, pandemic is disaster and really serious troubles, yes, and but others are blossoming. For example, like us. But our history is not connected with the pandemic. We developed our idea independently from this mess. Pandemic is present now, but will pass away, and elderly problems don't disappear with the same moment. That's why we are sure our solution. SeniorApp is a project based on our observation. Our society growth old, and our personal experiences influenced it directly. For example, my partner Przemek's mom, she is almost 70 years old, and she's still working as a social worker. It's an amazing woman. My experience, I was looking for 24/7 care for my seriously ill mother, who was confined to bed and unaware of what's going on. Because a nurse she had so far couldn't make it. And finding such help the weekend turned out impossible. It made us think deeper on the functioning of Polish healthcare system and possibilities of using commercial forms of care. And this is the point where the SeniorApp story begins. In March 2020, City Hall of Łódź announced another edition of Mam pomysł na startup competition. And it was the impulse that made us seriously deal with the issue and try to transform the idea into a product. And finally, after 6 months acceleration, we won this competition. First prize was 20,000 zloty. Yes, it's not so much as you know, but glory and respect forever until of this world.
Well, still something. I mean, glory and respect is to be wanted, you know?
Yeah. And actually, this year in March, we launched the first version SeniorApp on the market. And after that, almost 3 months, we have more than 4K users. For us, it's a best prize.
We will get to the development of your company, because I think that this is pretty interesting for someone who would want to start a similar software startup taking care of social issue. But let's start with the business model, and I'm being really direct in here because this is what we wanted for the session, to be practical and for our participants to take some insights and use them on their end. So maybe let's start with Szymon, please. You told us a little bit about your activity and like who are your customers. So what is your business model? Straightforward.
Straightforward. This is a personalized video communication and engaging in the consumers' communication between enterprises and their consumers. So basically, the business model is offering the highly engaging communication. So instead of sending short messages or maybe emails, our customers are using personalized video in order to communicate with their consumers, clients, and make it as similar to the human-to-human communication as possible. And our business model is selling the software as a service that on a massive scale renders those individual videos. So to give you an example, one of our customers in Colombia is struggling with the cost of servicing their customers. They have something around 5 million subscribers in the telco sector, and they are struggling and have a high cost of incoming calls to the call center regarding the simple question, why my invoice is higher than my actual contract value. And based on that, they decided together with our consulting team to run the personalized video campaign. And on each individual video, the bill is explained in the details. So for example, there would be on the video, hey, Kate, thank you for being our customer for last 12 years. And here's your invoice. This month will be a little bit higher than last month because you used an international calls, and also you traveled to Barcelona and you used quite a lot of roaming. So that's the way we do the business.
Okay, this is quite fascinating. So how does this apply to social impact? Maybe we can just go straight into your collaboration with social projects and how the start, actually, you working on social projects.
Yeah, a couple of years back, we met with a very nice and innovative and brave guys from the foundation that is called Wielka Orkiestra Świątecznej Pomocy. That's a brand of Jurek Owsiak, for those of you who don't know them, this is one of the biggest fundraising organization in Poland, supporting the health system. And we come across some people, folks, running their campaign. At that time, the main way of collecting money was actually money box and collecting by volunteers all over the country.
We all know this
yeah. So
fundraising in person. Yeah, also on Sunday. Okay, great.
Yeah, and at that time we thought that maybe it's high time for moving a little bit of those fundraising activities into internet. And for last 4 years, because this January campaign this year was the fourth in the row, where after each donation done by through the internet, our technology created on the fly a thank you message with a video from Jurek Owsiak saying, "Thank you, Kate, for donating 150 zloty. This amount will allow us to purchase a new kind of devices, and there is based on the range of the donation value. There are the different scenes that actually are relevant to your donation. And on top of it, we also say, or Jurek is also saying, hey, this is the actual amount of money we collected this year. And this piece at the end is your contribution to our whole story." So and people love it. I mean, we made some research with the foundation, and more than 68% really liked this message.
Yeah, so please keep the numbers till the end, because we will have a big question about impact, and I think that people will love to hear about this. But from my personal experience, I have to say that this is how I found out about Vintom in the first place. A friend of mine shared a message from Jurek on her Facebook wall, and I was very deeply impressed. And I heard stories of people who were paying money just to make Jurek say funny things. So after all, no matter what he actually said at the end, the important part is that people contributed and that they felt somehow appreciated with the short video. So that was really impressive, and that's why we really wanted to have you in this session. But before we jump into the impact part, I would also want to ask our social startups about their business model, because I think that this is a big question. Like, for example, I was asking myself, what if I wanted to start a social startup? Like, how I would finance this project and team of people that would be working on it, and so on and so forth. So maybe we can start with Igor, and you can tell us a little bit about how is it for a SeniorApp?
Mm-hmm. In our company, the main stream of revenues project is the commission for the intermediation of the ordered services for seniors. And our application gives the opportunity to caregivers, rehabilitators, nurses, hairdressers, beauticians, and other professions to advertise their services free of charge on the SeniorApp platform. And service providers, for example, caregivers, choose the services they provide and charge for their service. When a senior or a member of his family orders and pays for a given service via the SeniorApp, and the caregivers accept the order and performs it properly, the system will transfer the remuneration to the caregiver's account with a deduction of the commission for advertising services in the SeniorApp. And of course, in the future, in the application, we allow customers to order more services, for example, subscription form and premium packages, which will be the additional sources of our income. In the next stage of the application and web platform development, we plan to sell advertising space to partners and companies with products aimed to seniors and their families. For example, selected care products, dietary supplements, clothing, food, free time.
Okay. So just to make it easier for our participants, if you want, it's a little bit like Airbnb or any marketplace that you use, and there is a markup that goes to the software and the SeniorApp that is managing this whole process and makes you actually use these amazing services that you did not have access to earlier in Poland, at least. I'm pretty sure.
Yes, but we are focused on safely and save our customers. That's very important for us, and maybe I can tell something about it maybe later.
That's great. I take a note about it because I just thought about this, how you provide security and so on. But before we get there, I really want to hear from Karol because he has an extremely diverse and interesting business model that has multiple revenue streams that he's exploring and also like testing. So maybe you can tell us about that.
Yes, our core, and this is what we are focusing 90% of our efforts, is the model of B2B, B2G sales, B2B business to business. So we deliver our school lab, our Skriware solution to schools via distributors. So this is the way to go when we go abroad. We need to find a local distribution partner that has onboarding and implementation capabilities, and we sell through them to do onboarding of our product portfolio.
Can you just give us an example of such a distributor? Who this could be?
This can be, for instance, a distributor specialized in selling computer appliances, tablets, laptops, and also software, educational software for the country.
To schools abroad. Okay.
Yes, and in Poland we do a hybrid model. We do direct sales. We have our own team, and we also work with 6 different B2B partners to cover the whole country. The product that we sell is a combination of one-off sales. It's really 90% one-off, 10% is a license to content, recurring revenue that is renewed every 12 months. And in order to acquire clients, we have to go to different, we maintain a relationship with the teachers, with principals of the schools, with local governments as well. That's specifically in Poland where we're mostly focused. And and this is our core. Due to pandemics, we started to, because of the lockdown, schools were closed and we couldn't really acquire new clients because of the trade shows. This is a very traditional business, so this is how we operate. We couldn't do that either, so we had to experiment. And the way we did it, we found a corporate partners, like a foundation, NGO, or a private business to sponsor implementations of Skriware in schools in Poland. So we actually did 13 implementations thanks to corporate CSR kind of budget. And our new exciting project, also as a result of a COVID observation, is selling to parents of children aged 5 to 12, just a set of bricks, just a very simple set of engineering kits to actually allow children to explore manual skills, develop their motoric abilities, and just put them off their screens because they spent already so much time during the school lockdown. So this is B2C initiative that we are now experimenting with solely in Poland.
This is very interesting, especially so my follow-up question, maybe you will tell me that good organization solves it all, but this is a lot of different activities. How do you have a big team to manage all of these? We have Szymon. Hello, Szymon. It's really nice to see you and have you with us again and smiling.
Yeah, I had to leave for a moment because I had to change my browser. So for that.
Okay, it's good that you're back and that we can continue this session. So what I was just saying to Karol is that this is very interesting that they have many different revenue streams, and I was wondering if it was quite a challenge, right, to to be successful on so many fronts at the same time?
Yeah, well, so we heavily invested in our core in this B2B business model. That meant we had to invest a lot in distributor training and hiring our own sales team and onboarding the new. We have 40 people on the terrain from other companies doing sales for us. So that took a lot of effort and investment. On the B2C, this brick system, we are doing simple e-commerce. We have zero marketing budget, and we are just the first weeks of this challenge. We are under-invested here, and the key challenge for us is to find a reselling distribution partner. Well, we were approached by Amazon, for instance. They run their numbers and they said, "Hey, you guys should sell on Amazon because of that and that." So we can do it. We can find just a reselling partner and share margin with them, and then this can be, so basically sales can be easily outsourced on this one. And the CSR initiative, this is purely my extra magic time work based on relationships and pure luck. Really, I don't think it will scale. People are not willing to share that much. People are willing to just consume education without investing in education. So, well, unless they change their mindset, it doesn't make sense for.
We just talked about it, or like panelists just talked about it on the previous session about the green future, and apparently it's a very similar problem for green tech companies because people take many of these things for granted, right? So thank you for that, Karol. And I was wondering because as we touched on this like go-to-market strategy a little bit, for Skriware, I wanted to ask Igor because he also has, they're just in the beginning of this journey. The company started last year, but they have, they went through many stages of like development of the company, and maybe you can tell us a little bit about this. Like you started from bootstrapping and going to this competition. Then what happened?
During works on application, we create a focus group. That is interesting thing. Member of this group were seniors. There were 20 people, and we worked together online almost 2 months. And during this time, we listened to them carefully, what is okay or what is wrong or not, and implemented all their tips, proposals, changes. That's why the SeniorApp looks this way. I mean, colors, typography, fonts, contrast, flow, onboarding, etc. We are, as you know, small company now, and we try to develop and try to reach new clients, new customers. It's very important for us. That's why we make a lot of different activities, for example, marketing activities and cooperation with NGOs and in Lodz and of course in Poland as well. This is our path, our way to exist on this market and to show show that we exist.
Okay, this is very interesting collaboration with different NGOs to get a little bit of visibility on the market. What else do you do to allow people to actually get to know you, because you're a new company even in Poland? So you are from Łódź. So hi to all people watching us from Łódź. I just visited the city, very beautiful. And apart from this, where else you are present in Poland, for example?
After the launch in March, we focused on our marketing activities on like a teaser in 3 big Polish cities, Łódź, Poznań and Wrocław. First of all, we wanted to find users on the side of service providers. Mainly caregivers, nurses, hairdressers. We use online channels and outdoor advertising, and also radio advert focused on this group. The next step was gaining customers on the side of seniors and their families, and exactly the same way, the same path to take them. Now we have service providers in more than the 25 biggest cities in across Poland, and expanding to smaller cities. But actually, for us, we are limited by financial possibilities. This is most important thing which is stop us in these activities.
Okay, very, very important thing. People, money, obviously.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
question to Szymon, because you are, so your core activity is one thing, and then you have social projects. So what is your go-to-market strategy? And then how do you look for like, maybe social projects actually come to you to be promoted? How does it even happen? This matching between you and social projects?
Well, actually, because we are engaged in the biggest event on the Polish market, there are a couple, at least couple, if not more, of different questions regarding our potential cooperation with other foundations. Not only, by the way, not only in Poland, because we currently do provide such similar services to the foundation businesses in the United States, which is the market is much different to what is in Europe, and the money funding is just another kind of business. There are like tens of thousands of people that are focused on a day-to-day business on collecting money for different reasons or foundations. So we are more approached by those companies than actively seeking for those companies abroad.
Wow.
And so this is the way how it works. So if you have the biggest event in Poland, things are happening much faster.
Yeah, this is how fame works, people. So just so you know.
Yeah, and it has some connectedness with your experience, with your own experience. Our technology touches emotions, and one of our customers just made a research a couple of years back, asking their customers after something about 3 to 6 months after the campaign if they remembered anything about the campaign we provided. And more than 60% of people actually remembered the movie that they got from this company 3 months back.
Yeah, it's really personal after all, right?
While you probably don't remember what you watched on YouTube yesterday, right? So it tells us that this kind of personalized communication, if relevant for the specific person, it is just remembered. Okay, so it touches emotions very, very strongly, and this is the way, and also because the foundation and all those social activities are relevant for this technology.
That is correct. I even remember.
This is the impact.
This is the impact. And the fun fact is, like, you really remember details, because I remember how much my friend paid to the campaign till this day. It's like, I don't know, it's just like very explicitly 150. So you know now. Okay, guys, the last question is, before we close this session, there is a question from the audience about the impact, and this is an amazing question because it was totally on my list of questions. So Szymon, if you're already telling us different numbers, maybe you can share with us right now the numbers of what are the results for you, and if it's a success for this year with Wielka Orkiestra Świątecznej Pomocy, what were the results?
Okay, I don't know if you remember, but Wielka Orkiestra Świątecznej Pomocy started something around 30 years back, or 20 something years back, right? So their initial founding was around $1.5 million US. This year it was, I don't remember, close to 50 millions. Basically, thanks to the technology we provided this year, we generated over 1 year. After 1 day, with an SLA of 15 seconds, more than 1 million movies in real time. So wow. we cannot share the number of the amounts of money that went through those videos, because we have some secrets with the foundation. But basically, quite a big chunk of all the collections went through the online channels, which were supported by our technology with a thank you message from UREC. And as you said at the very beginning, some people were trying the technology and they were paying different amounts of money to check what UREC will say. And if this is not a coincidence that there is a first name and the amount that suits their donation. No, the videos are rendered real time and they are real videos for each and specific person. So 1 million videos over one day. It's the impact that we had this year with this foundation.
Okay, congratulations first of all, and thank you for this work. As I thank all of you, because this what you're doing, guys, is absolutely amazing. This is quite an interesting impact. So I would want to hear from Karol right now, because how about you? How you think that Skriware can measure impact of your products and your technologies?
The difficult thing about education is that it's learning outcomes, its value and individual impact in that sense is difficult to grasp. Is long term really, and there's a lot of bias around it. So we decided not to go for test results. Or for some specific skills outcomes, because we personally don't believe that this will be 100% truth, and this will be 100% dependent on our actions. So how we define the value behind the product is increased engagement of in the classroom, engagement as defined by interactions, the right questions. Project activities, after classes works, and all of that by the teacher, and also teacher's perception of utility. So how much extra value in a given time frame do our materials provide, rather than going through base alternatives or competitive solutions. And we are not there to provide any numbers for now, because we started selling the whole Skriware solution in the midst of lockdown. So the children have just returned to schools, and the numbers that I'm happy with are that in the fact, despite of the school lockdown and the whole term, since September we've trained and onboarded over 500 teachers in Poland alone. Well, we are in contact with the schools. We are checking how are they using it, but it's still to see how it goes. But what I'm mostly actually happy about really within the company, that we also created this culture of being responsible, feeling responsibility of ownership for our own actions. That means that if we have any opportunity to support any pro bono project, for instance, we were 3D printing face shields for the personnel for nothing in the midst of pandemic where we almost went bankrupt. We were supporting, poor children of immigrants during Christmas time. We were also giving free robots and free bricks to girls from disadvantaged regions in Poland to teach them IT skills and to boost their confidence. We are looking for such initiatives because we believe that this is also bonding us as a team, and this is a CSR impact context that we are mostly proud of at this moment, at least.
Okay, this is super. You touch on so many interesting things that I want to go back to all of them, but we are running out of time. But I think this is very important to have this very direct outputs, but then see the global impact of your actions, and then also something that is very important, especially right now, for young employees or employees in general, to have impact of their actions, like what they're doing in their job is very important to them, and they want their job to make sense. So very, very important topic that we will not be able to discuss today. Unfortunately, I would love to continue my conversation with you, obviously. So just Igor, very, very briefly, if you could tell us how you plan to measure impact.
Oh, sorry. Someone to call me. Okay. now we have 3 numbers for us important. First, it's number of orders, number of users, and number of help givers.
Okay.
And after this 3 months, we have almost 4K users in our app, 1K validate users, that I mean help givers, and almost 150 ordered services. And till of this year, we want to have 50K users and 5K services providers, and maybe 1,500 ordered services. And of course, we are still fighting about our recognizability. That's why we organize our webinars, and we just published 8 webinars so far, and each of them have almost 14K viewers. It's of course not 1 million like Szymon issue.
You're getting there.
Yeah.
You're getting there. I will
maybe in the future.
you.
I will be fight for it.
Okay, great. So thank you guys for an amazing session and a lot of insights. Before we go our ways, the very last thing, last advice, if someone wanted to do social projects in their company or start a startup, what is your if you could share one tip with our audience, what it would be? Igor, you're already unmuted. Please share your thoughts.
Mm-hmm. I think, in my opinion, it is possible to merge business and social activities. It's very important for local communities, for humanity, actually. My SeniorApp is the best proof of that. We are sure that if more partners will join us, we will be richer in experience and able to do more for each other.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Szymon. My only advice would be, if you will not make a first step, you will certainly not succeed, nor you will make no any failure. And both
Here's
those.
The business guy.
That's if you'll not give it a try, you will not know if it works or not, and what are the potential consequences of such a step. So
amazing.
I encourage everyone to just make trial, learn out of it, and make it better next time. Okay, Karol?
I think only recently did we really enter 21st century as a humanity. And I think it's a prerequisite to think of social impact while opening any new business. And I'm always encouraging every new entrepreneur to not to think like boomers, in the past, to just increase their individual economic rent, because those days are over. And if you do a compelling value proposition, if you target the right audience, if you provide a good quality of service with social impact, you will make loads of money. That's no doubt about it.
Okay, so thank you guys. Thank you for amazing discussion. Thank you for comments in the chat. And that was Tech via Social Impact. And see you on the next session at Polish Tech Day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all for watching. See you.